What's up, guys? Abstract Tiger Productions here. I am Chris.
I'm Drew.
I'm Jonathan.
Yes, we are now 3. We have a special guest, I guess you could say, Jonathan, as you heard. He messaged me earlier in the day, or was it yesterday?
It was yesterday.
It was yesterday. Now, we're doing Ahsoka episode 5 reaction. All right. He wanted to be here to witness our reaction to this episode. That could mean one of two things: really, really good, or really, really bad.
I was thinking the same exact thing. Yeah.
But
I'm preferring the former.
yes, hopefully it's the former. But you know, we'll have your thoughts on the episode afterwards. But last time on Ahsoka, we had actually quite a bit of fight choreography, fight action.
Yes.
Fight action, yes. We actually saw Huang actually get into the mix and kind of hold his own.
Yeah, David Tennant had a fight scene.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Technically,
Sort of.
Sort of, yes. And then
He got to scream for help.
the only thing that I really yes, he can help. But my biggest thing was, where's Sabine's jetpack? All of his problems could have been solved because, you know, if she had a jetpack.
3 major conflicts. All shit. Problem solved.
We also got. I had two predictions actually come true. One, Hera show up regardless of what the Galactic Council wanted.
Yep.
And she had Captain Carson with her and several other miscellaneous people.
Yeah, I think one of them was supposed to be the Rick Famuyiwa member of the New Republic Rangers. But obviously I don't think that was actually the director in the seat, because they kind of did that more in the Mandalorian first, second season, was we actually saw him zoomed in. But I think one of them was supposed to be that character, and that was the one that lost an engine and started catapulting towards the planet.
Yeah. We also got a little bit of hint of a background. The ever so slightest a hint of a background of Balin. And he knew, he basically said everybody in the Jedi Order knew who Anakin was. And he made the very chilling comment that very few would live to see what he turned out to be.
Yeah.
So, okay. And the helmeted guy apparently was like a Night Sister possession type of situation, based on what I kind of remember from like...
Yeah, so what I read was that Marok, apparently was his name, or Marok, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, apparently was a reincarnated Inquisitor, is what, like, the ongoing consensus is on the internet.
Well...
which is just
maybe,
odd.
I don't know.
Not reincarnated, what's the word I'm looking for? Help.
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for?
He's kind of like a zombie.
There we go.
Zombie.
Resurrected? Is that the word I'm looking for?
resurrected.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reanimated.
Yes.
That's what what you were looking for. But anyways, we also had a Stargate type of situation with the locks going around.
When they were trying to lock in the coordinates, I actually was like, Chevron 7 locked in place.
Yeah. And Ahsoka tried to grab the orb. Well, she did, and burned her hand. Which really irked Balin.
So I'm curious why touching it now compared to touching it at the beginning of the show. Like, is it just because it was imbued with Night Sister magic? Because it had been
probably
spinning?
The pedestal was on had a flame.
Yeah, had a flame.
So,
okay.
Yeah, like Night
the
Sister
little green
magic
flame. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she basically put her hand in a fire.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense now. I was like, why did it burn her now? That didn't click.
But unlike Arashari, she's not made to pass through fire. Sorry, that's a Vox Machina reference.
I haven't seen Vox Machina
either.
Anyways, speaking of that sound, we did have the giant hyperspace ring.
Yep.
Zoom off, and and Jason Sindula having the classic line, "I have a bad feeling about this."
Yeah.
So,
and then nothing else happened. Like that's the end of the episode. Roll credits.
Hello, Snips.
Yeah.
Oh,
Master?
Yeah. So.
And piggybacking on our last video, he did have the scar. He was just in the shadow. So he wasn't pre-scar like we thought he was.
Yeah. Well, I had also made mention in it that he hit that side of his face was shadowed, so he could have easily been missed.
Yeah.
And Ahsoka finds herself in the world between worlds with Anakin Skywalker. Do you think this is their first meeting since he got redeemed by Luke? This is a question for the both of you.
I would assume so, only because of the way that she said "master." Like, it wasn't like, a Force Ghost had been present in her 5-6 years in the interim, 10 years.
Or could that be like spoilers for the episode?
That would be huge spoilers.
Okay, all right.
No comment.
Okay,
no comment.
No comment. You abstain your vote. Okay, all right.
What's the thing they say on? Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
That's a
allegedly.
Full
politician.
Allegedly. I do not recall is also another famous politician line. Made famous by one Richard Nixon.
Yep.
Dun dun dun.
I'm not a crook. Sorry.
That actually wasn't bad. Kudos, sir.
All right. Well,
all right, so predictions for this episode.
I just say we're going to get nothing. I could go silly with it, or I can go super serious with it. I could probably do both, knowing me. But, I mean, we're obviously going to get some sort of, like, really in-depth, emotional scene with Anakin and Ahsoka here. I am also going to speculate that we're going to probably have like I wouldn't say maybe a jump cut or something like that, but we're going to probably at some point, whether it's at the end of the episode or maybe in the middle, I don't know, the Morgan Elsbeth and Co. with Sabine, who is now their prisoner. That's another thing that happened, because Sabine couldn't let Ezra go.
Yep.
Essentially. Or at least the possibility of finding him. So we're probably going to end up at the end of the trail where they're at.
Okay.
And this is where we're probably going to see Thrawn. Sorry.
Clue. So piggybacking
programs.
Yeah. So piggybacking on what I said the last episode, I know at some point Tamara Morrison is supposed to show up as Rex. We've got Anakin. He looks young. I think we're gonna get some kind of a Clone Wars flashback kind of thing, and that's basically all I can speculate, because there'd be no point. It's a 6-episode series.
And this is
if nothing happens in episode 5 that explains what the finale is going to be.
I think it's a 10 episode.
I've been seeing mini season 6 episodes. So I was thinking that we were like done next week.
Yeah. If that's the case,
if it's 10, I'm so in.
Yeah, I am so much happier.
Oh,
but let's find out.
I was like, my life is not over then. Hey, Thrawn.
Thrawn.
I don't want to wait
8
40
episodes.
years.
Sorry, 8.
Eight.
There's
Okay.
8.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
okay, at
Things-
least it's more than 6.
Yeah.
Things can
More than
breathe.
Obi-Wan. That was probably the most depressing thing was that Obi-Wan was 6 episodes.
Yeah.
We talked about that 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Was that we were at the
Briefly.
halfway point, or so we thought, and if it goes anything like Obi-Wan, it's going to be such a quick wrap up that you're going to get whiplash. And
Well,
so-
actually, Obi-Wan I was fine with. It was Mando season 3.
Yeah.
That was
Well, yeah,
like
that one
That
was
was worse.
definitely one. But
Um,
I was talking about just Obi-Wan was so fast, especially
Yeah.
with them dropping the first 2 episodes at the same time, and you only had 4 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and it gave me whiplash
Yeah.
watching Obi-Wan. And then I had the same thing with Book of Boba Fett, but
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother.
but yeah, if it's 8
Story.
episodes, I'm so in.
All right, so I guess the only real way to know is to actually watch it.
Yes.
I mean, we can just sit here and for an hour and a half and just talk, but you guys aren't here for that.
Much to the chagrin of my wife and kids. Because we've done that repeatedly.
No, never. When have we ever? All right.
We took a 20-minute, not even 20-minute Blue Beetle review, and it was an hour.
Well, that was because reasons.
It's always because
Yeah.
of reasons.
Yeah, reasons. All right.
He gets off on tangents a lot.
I'm
Don't
a
look at me.
geometric kind of guy. What can I say? Are you regretting your decision to show up tonight?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I'm not.
All right.
He's just like, press play!
All right. Let's get going, shall we? Okay.
Works for me.
All right.
That also might be one of the coolest lightsaber duels they've done since Disney has bought Star Wars.
Balin and Ahsoka?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I just like how nonchalant, just like, I don't care. Let's just go.
Yeah.
She's like,
Not
ignore
even
them.
bothered him.
She specifically says, ignore them.
Yeah. Come on, let Chopper out. He's got a higher body count than anybody in the show. Oh, there's a little murder bot.
But don't wander off too far. We don't know this planet, so keep Chopper with you.
Well, if anybody's going to be a bodyguard, it would be Chopper. Or Zeb.
I'm still kind of bummed we haven't got Zeb yet.
Well, now that we know we have more episodes, we might still get him.
You're not wrong.
Oh.
Found him. He's
Yeah.
holding Sabine's helmet.
I told them to stay together. But they never listened.
Shadow Warrior.
You look the same.
You look old.
Well, that happens. Tell me what's going on.
I'm here to finish your training.
Oh.
What?
It's a little late for that.
One's never too old to learn, Snips.
Yeah, but you can't fight a Force Ghost.
She is.
No, I meant like in the same way that Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon would have interacted.
Mom, not now, Jason.
No.
We might benefit
The,
from people
listen to the Force-sensitive child.
But, Mom, don't you hear it?
the waves crashing.
No. The lightsabers.
He's hearing into
The world
the
between worlds.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
Cool trick, kid.
Our Carson, get
Like
your
his
squad
father,
together.
he is.
Meet you at the location.
Jason has abilities. His father, Kanan Jarrus, was a Jedi.
Yay!
Name drop.
Okay.
Later.
Wait, all right.
Okay, sure.
Looks like you don't have much left to offer.
Oh.
I haven't taught you everything yet.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of neat tricks,
Whee!
Whoa.
What? Oh, they even aged her down. Wow.
Yeah.
What in the world?
Wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff.
Yeah. I was gonna say I speculated this would happen, but the fact that it's actually happening is cool.
You know, teaching's not always cracked up to be.
What makes you say that?
I'm joking.
You're joking.
Yeah, I'm joking.
How can you joke at a time like this?
What would you prefer?
I don't know.
Tell me, what do you want? You want me to be more serious?
I prefer it.
Listen, I'm teaching you how to lead, how to survive. And to do that, you're going to have to fight.
They got a pretty decent, I guess, person to.
Whoa.
Oh. Okay. That was cool. Scary, but cool.
Yeah.
Chopper says you're gonna have to get low.
How low?
She wants to know how low. Pretty low. As low as you can. Just go, Mom, please.
Right. Droid said low.
Oh, wonderful.
Are we going swimming?
The Republic. Rex!
I don't know this battle.
Because you weren't there.
Yeah.
Siege of Mandalore. We had parted ways by now.
Oh.
What?
Oh, that was the Vader. Oh my. Okay. Did he have
Yellow eyes.
Sith eyes, or was it just the reflection of
Oh,
a red?
It's
Yes,
yellow
it
eyes.
is.
Okay. Okay. She was knocked off in the ocean. She was unconscious. This is what was happening in her mind. And it's just
In her
basic-
mind.
In her mind, yeah. Well, yes. Ah.
We got her, Chop.
It's weird not seeing her without the headpiece. There, her, or
I feel like I shouldn't be seeing that.
yeah. So this is private for Tegrodans.
Ah, my eyes.
Oh no! Only immediate family and spouses can see. No, sorry.
Why did you show Jason inside your starship?
I've been in a starship before.
A Jedi starship?
Do you have a training room in your starship? Will you train me?
No.
Do you know how to build a lightsaber?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you teach me?
No.
General, we have a problem.
Uh-oh.
What else?
It's a fleet. They're on their way.
They're a little late.
I don't think they're coming out.
Uh-oh.
I don't know how to follow speed. Only one way to find out.
So she doesn't get a cool robot hand like everyone else?
It didn't get cut off. It just got burned.
No, but I still thought, Ahsoka with a robot hand would be cool.
She's not a Skywalker.
Close enough.
That'll do.
Are you familiar with the story of Jonah?
Wish you luck.
She gonna talk to it? Okay. Yep.
Now, where's General Syndulla?
I'm afraid that's classified information.
Classic.
You're gonna have to halt your approach to the planet until I receive confirmation that the General has indeed completed her mission.
Mission. Captain, the reason we are here is because there was no mission.
I respectfully disagree.
We're all on the same side here.
Are we?
Okay, but you're not gonna believe me.
We're talking to space whales.
We're talking to we're talking to space whales.
I was joking about the Jonah thing. I was joking.
It's like the scene from Finding Nemo.
So, David, what'd you do today? Well, I played a robot that flew into the mouth of a whale.
Correct. The whales will transport her, or at least that's the plan.
Captain, I'm receiving a signal from the Ghost.
Captain Gerard, this is General Syndulla. I'd move your fleet out of there if I were you.
Yeah.
Here comes all the
Here
space
comes
whales.
all the whales.
Evasive maneuvers. They cleared their path. Ahsoka. Looks like they're about to jump. Sorry you can't make the trip. It's alright. Jason's too young to travel between galaxies. Or I'll find them.
And
Well.
credits. Directed by Dave Filoni. Okay.
Yeah. Figures.
And written by Dave
And
Filoni.
written.
Well, he
yes.
wrote all of them.
And
Yes.
created by
And
Dave.
created.
Well,
But based on
ones,
Star-
the
no,
first ones were
Lucas.
Seth Green.
He wanted you.
No, not
Steph Green.
Steph
He
Green.
wanted you to know for a fact.
Yeah.
It was
did
his
this,
episode.
yes. Oh, wow. That. Wolf!
Oh. Got something about that.
Wolf.
Yes, the wolves. You may have mentioned it in earlier episode, but
I made a reference that I'd like to see Jason riding a lost wolf. That was pretty much the only reference we made to the lost wolves.
Yeah.
oh, Ray Stevenson.
Yeah. David Tennant. And Hayden Christensen! He's there.
Mm-hmm. So,
Okay.
why do I know that name?
Which one?
Ariana Greenblatt.
Okay. I had to look her up.
That's young Ahsoka, right?
Yes.
Yes,
She
I
was
know,
in Avengers. I learned this today. I had to look her up.
Gamora. The young Gamora.
Yes.
Young Gamora.
Yeah.
That's who she
That's
is.
young Gamora.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I knew I
Yeah.
recognized her, and then I saw her name, and I was like, now I know I recognize her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, young Gamora. Cool. That's actually
What'd you
pretty
think?
Yeah.
Cool. That was
That was
awesome.
good, yes.
That was really good.
Yeah.
So you can see why it got theatrical release.
Yeah.
I can see that because with the not just because of
The Anakin stuff.
The Anakin stuff. We have the Clone Wars things.
Yeah.
We had the Siege of Mandalore. We had Purgil out the wazoo.
Yeah.
And we really got to see Jason's natural talent, I guess
Yeah.
you could say, with the Force.
Yeah. Which Sabine does not have.
No. You have
no power.
Oh.
Wow.
This, you call it, it was like a Jonah and the whale type situation.
I was joking.
But I liken it's more akin to the Finding Nemo scene.
Yeah.
With Dory and yeah.
Maybe he only speaks whale.
Dory. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you sure you speak?
I will say this though. Speaking about the going into the mouth of the whale thing, I was joking, but then when they actually did it, I thought that it was done very well.
Yes,
because you actually showed the mouth opening and the attention to detail,
yeah. Whatever,
the teeth.
What do they call it? It starts with a B. Whale mouth. It starts with a B. They're not actual teeth. They're just
I don't know.
like filters
bristles
for krill
or something like that.
Yeah, but
I'm not really. There's a more
bristle is a synonym for it.
Yeah,
baleen or something like that.
I'm not a whale biologist or a purgale biologist.
Okay, so
okay,
I think she died. I
don't think she actually died.
Ahsoka?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he goes, you lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she was like, what? He goes, no, you trust me, you lost.
Okay.
Bad.
True. What? Yeah. I still likened it to where she might have been like teetering on that edge of death and life, and it was, I guess, Anakin there trying to. Are you really going to try to fight for your life?
Yeah.
And try to
fight
help
to survive.
her. Fight to survive. I don't think she. I mean.
Yeah.
There's a lot of definitions of dead.
So
I mean, she could have been in like some sort of coma of some sort.
I think you're right. I think she didn't die, but she was dying.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I also think it's metaphorical too.
Yeah. She could have easily. Yeah.
I think that when she confronted Vader and Rebels, Ahsoka died because she became more stoic.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
you meant metaphorically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
we had a whole conversation about whether or not Ahsoka died fighting Vader.
No.
Yeah. I think that's up for interpretation.
Yeah.
Very much.
You can watch our previous episode to get my thoughts on that and whatnot. But yeah. That was not. I wouldn't say more because there's 8 episodes. The mid-season probably wouldn't last episode, but they did it this episode.
I was glad to find out there's more than 6.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot to wrap up in the final episode.
Yes.
There's only 6.
So we might get to see Thrawn next episode.
Yep.
Yes. Oh man.
So excited.
But the
Mithra Naruto.
Yeah. Arya Greenblatt.
Yep.
She did a really good young Ahsoka.
Oh, absolutely.
It was weird, kind of like what you said with Anakin not being Matt Lanner. It was weird not hearing Ashley Eckstein.
Yeah.
But it's good enough. I don't care. It's good. I enjoyed it a lot. And the way they de-aged her all of a sudden, there whenever she first shows up in the Clone Wars flashback thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then when he kicks her out of the Siege of Mandalore back into her adult body.
Yeah.
That was actually kind of nifty.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that a lot.
So, I think it's interesting because they kind of did this in the Clone Wars show, but they kind of showed how the Jedi basically, instead of being peacekeepers, they became warriors, right?
Yeah.
And not
Ahsoka has a conversation with Rex on the way after they capture Maul.
Yeah.
And she has this conversation with Rex about, we were supposed to be keepers of the peace, but ever since I've been a Padawan, all I've known is war.
Yeah, before 66 happened.
Yeah.
It's so
minutes before.
It's like she's showing, or the way they're doing this is that they're actually showing how young she was.
Yeah.
The animation made her look older.
Mm-hmm.
And
that could be also blamed because of the outfit they put her in. But at least the early outfit. But
so I think she's 13 or 14.
Yeah, she's supposed to be 14 years old whenever she gets put under Anakin's tutelage.
And then
she's given from Plo Koon over to.
I believe in season 7 she's supposed to be 17, which is actually the age of the actress. She's like 16 or 17. Yeah. So, but yeah, they were really trying to hammer it in how young she was.
Yeah.
That's I thought was a really cool choice because it's easy looking at animation
Yeah.
To go, oh yeah, sure she's 17 or 18, but she's still a kid.
Yeah. That's
yeah,
still...
and I can remember like clearly seeing the difference between season 1 of Clone Wars and season 7 of Clone Wars, how they aged her up animated wise.
Yep.
But it really, like you're saying, it drives it home when the way
and
they did it.
It's not just because they got better at doing the animation. I mean, yes, that is a part of it, but I mean they have to show that progression of time too.
Yeah.
It's like you see here. Anakin, whenever we had the first flashback with Anakin and Ahsoka, his hair was super short.
Yeah.
It's like he just got his braid chopped off and became a full-fledged knight, and he was just kind of, and that weird, letting it grow out, and it's kind of odd, spiky and weird. And
it was the same timeline as what's Brotherhood. The novel that actually takes place in the first year of the Clone Wars, when he meets Ahsoka for the first time. So they actually novelized that whole him getting his Padawan braid chopped off.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan being granted the title of Master, and then all of it transitioning from there on
to Christophsis, where he
Yeah.
gets Ahsoka. Yeah.
So that was or around the same time frame as what you said, but that was the Stinky battle.
It never really specified,
Yeah.
but since it was like she did say it was one of their earlier battles, and I went to like
I was going off the
first. I mean, he had that for a while,
Right.
It wasn't until later, until closer to the end when he had his full hair length.
Yeah, I think they left it vague on purpose.
Yeah.
Um,
Because it's not. Yeah, I can see the reason why is it's just here's time frame, here's another time frame.
Well, the Siege of Mandalore was much more specific because where am I? I don't recognize this one because you weren't here.
Yes, you were.
That one was specifically meant. This is the day that I found out who you turn into.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you're still holding that against me," and I'm like,
okay.
"Okay, so this is Anakin with all of his memories."
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So clearly she feels almost guilty for leaving him.
Right. And we saw a bit of that whenever they had their first fight on Malachor.
Yeah.
And he, like in the Obi-Wan, he had his helmet split open. You could see his, on the other side, eye. And she's like, I'm not leaving you again. And then him being, at least at that point, full Vader.
Yeah.
There was really no Anakin left, per se. He's like, then you will die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because whenever Obi-Wan and Anakin had that fight, that's when Anakin got killed by Vader. And thus, from a certain point of view, Luke wasn't really lied to.
in the context of the live action movies, the first time we really start seeing his transition is when he kills the Tusken Raiders about his mom.
Yes.
But in the context of the Clone Wars television series, the first time we see him really struggling with that decision is while he can't do anything to help Ahsoka during the trial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's like, we've got all this power and we can't do anything. And that's when Palpatine starts pulling his strings a little bit.
A little bit more and more and more.
So, and that's when, like we were talking about, she leaves and
he's left hurt.
What's...
Or feeling...
He's left with a wounded moral compass, I guess, because since he doesn't have Ahsoka there anymore as his moral compass, which sounds weird since she's the student.
Yeah.
But
I was reading, I don't know what novel it is, but apparently there's a novel that's more recent that talks about after Ahsoka left the Jedi Order, and that basically it was just trying to set up more of kind of the perspective we see in Revenge of the Sith. Mm-hmm. And it was that when Ahsoka leaves, she was kind of his counterbalance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he becomes more, I guess, obsessive and...
yeah, which you can see that if you watch it's technically season 6, but it's like the Lost Missions or whatever. But it's season 6 of Clone Wars. There's that whole episode with Clovis again.
Yeah.
And he is a lot more brutal
Yeah.
with him than their previous encounters.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
I
giving
think,
into his rage.
Yes.
So I think the book, and I'm not sure which book this is. I was just reading about it, and I've been trying to find the title, but apparently he tries to find that balance in Padme.
I was
that-
gonna say he
yeah.
started hyper focusing on
Yeah,
Padme.
and then that's from what I read, the novel goes into that's one of the ways that Palpatine starts influencing him more, and it's not just like, oh, I can help you save your loved one,
Right.
Yeah.
but a lot of people based off that novel was theorizing that even the Force dreams about her dying could have been Palpatine's influence.
Yes.
So I don't know. I gotta find the
Yeah.
book, but
Didn't he admit to that? I have somewhere. It might be like a Mandela effect in my brain, but I feel like there's
Well,
at some point,
no.
Palpatine admits that he was the one that put the visions of Padme dying in Anakin's mind.
You might be confusing that with Kylo Ren, because he does have that line, I have been every voice that you have ever heard inside your head, and it goes through all the cycle with Vader and Snoke.
Right.
That's the only part I remember. I don't think he has ever really did that.
I'm
I
thinking
think
it's in one of the comics.
yeah. Are you referencing?
I'm thinking it's in one of the comics. When he
I
finds
haven't
out
read
that-
any of the comics, so
because
yeah.
it's and this is after Vader encounters A New Hope happens, right? And he finds out that he has a son, and he actually finds like Padme's like main handmaiden, and finds out she didn't die in childbirth, and he confronts the Emperor about it, and the Emperor admits it. I want to say that's in a comic because it's the Star Wars Marvel
Yeah.
timeline.
I thought you were referencing the one where he's basically in the Force, and he's basically going through different memories.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the one where it's actually not what happens, but the fear basically creates this reality that he's seeing where Palpatine created him, and then it goes through this whole thing, which it's been so long since I've read that, but I think there's something like that in there as well. But it's not really what actually happened. It was like his fear. And
right.
Giving him. So I can't remember. It's been so long. But
Yeah, wow. Tangent.
Yeah.
But
Not
close.
technically. At least it's on Star
Yes.
Wars this time.
Yes.
We didn't like start talking about something completely unrelated.
Hayden,
Transformers.
yeah. Hayden Christensen.
He
Phenomenal.
still got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I
Yes.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm
think-
totally down with him. Just keep on
Yes.
coming on with these cameos, or
Yeah.
just do a whole straight up.
It's kind
Force Ghost
of
Anakin.
kind of sad, but I wish he would have gotten some of this stuff like during the movies, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we can't go back and change that timeline. But okay, yeah, he did a fantastic job, and his. I wonder how
everyone just
long
called
it
him
really.
Emo Anakin.
Yeah, okay. I wonder how long. I mean, how much practice or refresher that he took to get back into the full swing of things of being with the fight choreography.
So I'd actually read that he stated in an interview that he watched the Clone Wars to prepare.
Oh,
So he actually.
he'd never seen it.
Nope. So he actually
Wow.
watched the show.
Hope he did it in chronological order and not release order.
Which just shows how much
Yeah.
doing the prequel trilogy and the backlash against him affected his love of Star Wars, because he was a huge Star Wars nut
Yeah.
when he got cast as Anakin.
So, we'll not name the YouTube channel, but a particular YouTuber watched this episode and was like, oh, this is really good. They should make a series about the Clone Wars. This said YouTuber has made an entire living off of making videos about Star Wars.
Oh,
So-
hey.
Okay, so anyway.
Maybe he
feel dumb.
or she meant it as like a live action retelling of Clone Wars. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt,
Yeah, I know.
because
Yeah, but
It was
this
funny.
just
that is
5-minute
just
segment was
funny.
awesome.
Yes.
between this and
And
watching,
it reminds me of that right there.
yeah, this and the
That was for my birthday from him.
what was the actor that plays Jar Jar played Ahmed Best.
Oh yes, Ahmed Best.
Ahmed Best played that one Jedi, and we got to see
Yeah.
the flashback to Grogu getting saved.
Yeah, and he was the one, and he actually. I mean, when I told you about that game show that he plays.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Jedi,
Yeah.
And
Which I watched.
He's canon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I watched that after you told me about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so little snippets like that reinvigorate what Clone Wars could be.
Well,
As live action?
Yeah.
I see it as also it's because we have this whole entire like almost a split in the fan base. We have the ones who movies, TV shows, that's it,
Yeah.
and then we have those who do even the animated,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then maybe we have a subsection that's just like strictly movies only, which I think that's beginning to shrink now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for the longest time, and I have probably mentioned this on the channel before, but I have a friend. She's a fantastic, big Star Wars fan like us.
Yeah.
And then they moved to England, and then now they're back in the U.S., but they're now back home where her husband is from in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
All the time that she was here, I kept saying, "Hey, watch Clone Wars. You get a lot more backstory between that brotherhood that Anakin and Obi-Wan had.
Mm-hmm.
You get a whole lot more connective tissues. Try to say that 15 times fast. And a lot of the stuff that happens in Revenge of the Sith makes a whole lot more sense.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, she's like, I haven't yet. Just kind of. Well, she now has children who have watched him, and she's like, oh, this is great. And I'm like, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people say, oh, it's animated, it's for kids. No, it's not. It's for Star Wars fans.
So something that I didn't notice, I actually forgot about until I started seeing people make TikToks about it. But in the Clone Wars, there's that whole series, that story arc, where Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka end up on that planet.
Oh, Mortis trilogy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the theory is
Good
with
trilogy.
ways portrayed in this episode is that he has fully fulfilled.
And he's went and stepped into the
Yes.
father's position?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's why he can go between
Vader and Anakin.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And that explains where I saw, because I didn't realize what that was referencing until getting to the end of this episode and you saying that. But I've been seeing a lot of people saying that the other two sides of that are Ezra and Ahsoka as the son and daughter.
I don't see that.
That's just what a lot of people have been saying online,
Yeah.
but I didn't
because
put
I
two
don't
and two
see,
together. Because I remember the son being like, he's Utapauan, that's the Grand Inquisitor, daughter.
Well,
father.
that's just what I guess he chose to appear as because it's a race that they would know.
Right.
Who knows what they looked like before?
Yeah.
I mean, they could be from a whole entire entire new galaxy.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would be anything like Ezra. If anything, Ezra, I don't know, will probably maybe follow the path of the Bindu, maybe just a little bit.
Ooh. Yeah. We'll find out.
We would have to find
Do
out.
it. I know you want to. Just go ahead and do it.
What? Oh.
You said Bendu. Everyone that's watching will be like, I'm waiting for him to do it because he said the word.
Would you like a jelly baby?
Would you like a chili, baby?
Oh my gosh.
So,
subverting expectations.
Anyway,
no.
No.
The lightsaber choreography.
Yes, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Yes.
So
now you said that the last episode, the fight between Ahsoka and Baylan was one of your favorite.
Yeah.
Close. Okay. I have a kind of a close, maybe just edged out just a little bit more. Would probably be the Obi-Wan Vader fight from Kenobi.
The one at the end.
Yeah, the one at the very end of the series.
Not the one where he's running away like a scared chicken.
Okay, so...
But I can see where this and that it just, and they kind of stepped up their game a little bit.
So which one though? Are we talking about Ahsoka versus Blue Saber Anakin, or are we talking about Ahsoka versus Red Saber Anakin?
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's the thing: when they switch to the LED sabers, they're in the sequel trilogy. They were so heavy that a lot of the choreography was a product of that.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to control the lightsaber from a control board.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was packed full of electronics. So not only was it like a NeoPixel, it was basically had a wireless transmitter inside of it. And so they were controlling a lot of the stuff off screen, off camera, with the control board. As they've gone on, they've reduced all of that.
Yeah.
And so, because...
Well, I don't know
it's just back to the light sticks, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, but it's still the NeoPixel, but it's still LED, but I don't know why they would have that controlled. I mean...
So, I didn't even...
I mean, the Flash on Clash, that's just a function of a lot of the NeoPixel-esque style that you can...
So, from my understanding from behind the scenes of The Force Awakens, that the NeoPixel wasn't as advanced. Now, when you clash two NeoPixel sabers, it registers where they're touching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was a function. So they were trying to control all of that because they wanted
to do it all in camera.
All in camera,
yeah. Okay.
So now, I mean, like, they're lightweight.
Oh, yeah.
So...
granted, I have a NeoPixel saber, which is one of these back behind me, and I mean, it is noticeably heavier than my standard base lit sabers, but I got this within like a year or so ago.
Yeah.
What was it? Yeah,
about a year ago.
Yeah. And it does. I mean, I've messed with it quite a bit, and granted, I do get a little bit more tired quicker with it, but I mean, it's like obviously if I get used to it, I'd be a little bit better. I mean, it looked like Hayden Christensen had no trouble whatsoever having fun with his blue saber here.
Yeah,
or his,
because like in the prequel trilogy, they were cast hilts with basically a fiberglass or not a carbon fiber rod. Excuse me.
Well, they started with aluminum, and then because of Ray Park and Ewan McGregor, they come out bent like this.
So I think it was,
and they were making the noises with their mouths.
Oh my gosh, was it Ryan versus Dorkman? They were I believe, I could be wrong, but I think I remember reading that they were the first ones to use the carbon fiber. And so that's how they basically switched to that.
Yeah.
So they were lightweight and faster, but
yes,
I like the balance they've got going right now.
Yes, I mean we got the basically the technology is they're rugged enough to be able to handle some combat and stuff like that. Now,
and you don't have to have all the flippy.
No. I also like that they're starting to bring lightsaber styles into live action.
Yes, because
before it was like they just did the choreography and then kind of made excuses for why the choreography was the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave Filoni, being Dave Filoni, is very much focused on the styles.
Which explains a lot of the dance transitions we saw last episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Basically, It's
also very... Even the music... Part of the music in this episode was very Kurosawa.
Yeah.
So it was very early samurai film.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. That's a lot.
That was a lot.
Yeah. So. I would imagine after the next episode, we're probably going to pick up with them coming out of the Burgill's mouth. We may spend a little conversation inside,
It would be hilarious if it ended up in the wrong galaxy. That's how the show ends.
Whoops.
3 more episodes of them trying to get another whale.
Yeah.
That's when it just does the Seinfeld roll credits.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm pretty much almost kind of sort of covered a lot of my points that I put on here. Other than,
Same here.
Ahsoka went to talk to the Purrgil.
She's definitely more lighthearted.
She has lightened up a lot.
Yeah.
I like Smiley Ahsoka. It
My
sounds
favorite-
weird, but I mean, for a while she was very
Yeah.
straight-faced, serious. I like the way that she's beginning to lighten back up a lot more now.
My favorite part of episode 3 was just her randomly floating across. Have you fixed
Oh.
the ship yet? That was
Come pick me
probably
up now.
my favorite. Yeah.
She's definitely Ahsoka the White.
See?
Dave Filoni has multiple times drawn cartoons of Gandalf and Ahsoka together.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually saw one. I'm not sure if it was recent, but it was talking about Ahsoka the White. So and it was like I died too or something like that. So
Yeah.
I fell from a high place as well.
Yeah, I'll have to find it and show you guys. But
Yeah.
so
Were you fighting a Balrog?
You fools.
I like the medieval influence on Balin and his Padawan.
I am loving Balin. We didn't even know the Padawan's name until this last episode.
week.
We never heard it. Shim.
Shin.
I thought it was Shim with an M.
I thought it was.
Oh, it's Shin. You're right.
Hoki?
I didn't even catch a last name. But
So
Where are you hearing these names? Because they did not say anyone's name.
Balin, so Skull, and if I'm so Balin Skull, if I'm saying the last part, and Shin Hoti, they're based off of the wolves from the Norse mythology of Ragnarok.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah, I
Are
didn't.
we gonna get Chris Hemsworth in the next episode?
So I actually didn't catch that until someone else pointed it out. I was like, "Oh, that makes sense."
Okay.
So,
all right.
Well, I wrote that down just so I know.
I think that's how you say it.
Okay.
That's really interesting now.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
Because, Merrick's name, I didn't hear other than the internet. Shin, I didn't know until this last episode.
Apparently, Merrick is another wolf that was cursed by a witch and brought back to
So
life.
all we need now
Hell?
is the big
Like
one.
Hela, but it's just AGL in the actual Norse mythology.
Maybe?
Okay.
I don't know.
You can't really go off of the Marvel version of
No.
Norse
Well, that's why I
mythology.
said. That's why I
But
said
we
it.
can say, all we need left is Fenris.
Yeah.
So okay. I am would have absolutely loved. I don't know. We may.
I was hoping we'd get Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan.
I was thinking if there was going to be a Clone Wars flashback, we were going to get Obi-Wan.
Hello.
Just because, and I speculated about this in the last episode, I was like, okay, so if Hayden, we know that he took some time to film a couple, shots in where it's actually just Anakin in Obi-Wan. And now we know, because of the end of last episode, that he showed up and did a couple days on Ahsoka. What's to say Ewan didn't come with him?
Yeah.
So I was thinking we were going to see an Obi-Wan.
No, and he's like, he probably asked, "Is this something for me to do?" No, not yet. Sorry.
So I just have to point out that I feel like these Filoni shows
Filoniverse
basically make the sequel trilogy almost useless. Because not that they're absolutely horrible films or anything, but this feels like what those should have been.
Well, he's filling in the gap. Like we have 30 years to cover, and he's filling in the gap up until the First Order, comes to power.
Yeah.
We still have about 12 years before they even start
name's
growing.
Yeah.
And it hurts me because they're clearly skipping galaxies, which is from some Legends stuff. And they could have brought in, I think, the original Sith, or like in one of the Legacy Extended Universe comics. There was like the original Sith race was hiding, and they could have brought them back. They could have done anything else. But
no.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Yeah. No, I got you on that.
But
it's all that cloning technology they stole from the Kaminoans.
I mean, they kind of owned it.
Yeah,
I mean,
owned it by stealing it. Okay, yeah.
You either give it to me or I kill you.
Yes.
Omega's like, no.
I'm interested, anyways. So, there's like a lot now that
there's a lot of places they can go now that we know that there's only there's 3 episodes left instead of 1.
So I think, like I was saying before, I don't know if we had started yet or not, the actual camera and whatnot, but I do believe this was the first meeting of Anakin and Ahsoka since their fight on Malachor.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that answers that question.
And
thank you for not spoiling.
Yeah, and again, like I was saying, I'm really surprised that it wasn't like just Anakin. It was an Anakin with all of his memories, even as Darth Vader. Yeah. Like I was very surprised that they went that way with it.
I'm not, because I mean, unless he had some weird head trauma or something, I would imagine he would have had all of his memories.
Well, we were speculating about where this Anakin could have come from, and I was thinking when you said the pre-Scar thing, I was thinking that it was an Anakin that was trapped in the world between worlds from during Clone Wars. Okay, so he wouldn't have known about the Darth Vader stuff yet.
No.
Then his lightsaber turned red, and I just went.
Yeah, which I have one of the Walmart cheapy lightsabers that is like the Skywalker family saber that can switch between blue and red.
I don't know.
Which is like, oh, okay, all right.
I feel like I vaguely remember that in the trailers for Revenge of the Sith, there was a shot of him wielding a red lightsaber.
Yes. I think they
Are you talking about the Mandela effect where it's him and Obi-Wan fighting?
I could have swore there was a...
It's the sparks in the background on Mustafar, because... did I say that right?
Mustafar.
Yeah. It's blue on blue.
Because I think originally...
I think they wanted him to have red, but I think they didn't really have a reason to have him have a red one yet.
Yeah. Because even though he was
still,
Darth Vader in name only.
Yeah, and it was still technically in a weird flux where he could have pulled back from the dark side.
Padme tried.
But,
But then also it was his saber that gets passed down.
Yeah.
So then Obi-Wan would have to change the crystal.
Change the crystal.
So speaking of crystals, since you're here, I'm going to go ahead and... What do you think about the fact that Balin's isn't red? It's not straight up red.
I think it's because...
It's orangey red.
Yeah, it's orange.
He's not...
Dave Filoni came out and said, I'm so glad people are catching that because I intentionally made it orange.
Yeah.
I don't think they're Sith. I think they're like Dark Jedi.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of replacing Gray Jedi. I think the whole... he's not really bad.
He's just a Jedi that has lost his faith.
Yeah.
Because he had that, line about that. But,
I could almost see them turning at the end.
Yeah.
Of some sort.
I'm hoping not. I was actually, and the turning good thing gets kind of cliche. I was really, really thinking what was going to happen was during the last episode, not the one we just watched, was when Sabine is being tempted by Balin to give the map, and then Shin started choking her from behind. I thought that Balin was going to kill Shin and take Sabine as his apprentice.
I think
that's where I thought that was going.
I think Balin knew pretty much more than Shin did that Sabine really had no true ability with the Force. So there, I don't think he would have had any, that wouldn't really have benefited him. But even then, he's not really straight up full dark side bad, kill your underlings or whatever.
Yeah, this isn't a Visions episode.
Yeah.
No. So, I'm kind of torn on Sabine.
Yeah, it is a little weird, but I can...
Because she takes off her helmet a lot.
Well, so when they're training, maybe I'm remembering wrong, but when she's training with Ahsoka, does she not start... Because her face is covered, and when they're sparring... Does she not start picking up and anticipating Ahsoka?
Maybe.
No, I'm thinking that's just... She got a couple of good shots in just because she's tactically proficient.
Yeah.
But she's not Force sensitive in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, she may have been hearing... Actually,
that's why I'm trying to figure out how she's a Padawan.
I'm curious what
Her
they're going to
midichlorians
do.
are like 0.
But
4.
4.
I'm curious. I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't become force sensitive.
I really hope they don't.
So far, the only thing we've seen her do was try to move a cup
and
force slap Shin.
But she's trying
but...
repeatedly.
Yeah,
so that makes me...
Or at least that's what it looked like. The way that they cut the choreography was that she force slapped her.
And then I think it was because Shin braced herself because she was expecting it.
You have no power.
Like,
you
have no power.
She's doing really, really well against...
I mean, yeah, because she does have her Mendo toys, except for her freaking jetpack.
Yeah, she doesn't have her jetpack, which is just going to bug you until we
get it
resolution.
back.
Or until we find out what happened to it.
Yes.
But I don't know.
Did she lose it during the... I would imagine...
The Battle of Lothal?
No. I would imagine it was... probably when... I think whenever they first split up, it was because when Moff Gideon attacked Mandalore and did the whole firebomb and destroy everybody type of
purge.
thing. And the purge.
Yeah. Not the 12 hours.
She wanted Ahsoka to go and help her save her homeworld. Ahsoka said no. So she went off.
I've already fought for
herself.
Mandalore once. I'm not doing it again.
So that's where she had lost it.
So the next episode is going to be Sabine's backstory then.
I don't know. No, we're gonna
because we still need to figure out who Baylan is.
We're gonna have a Pergil Central. We're gonna see what they were doing.
So personally, I hope that there's a definitive standoff between Baylan and Ahsoka.
I think we'll get that.
I think.
Is she going to try to? I don't know. I don't know. She could try to turn him back to the light side, kind of, but I don't know if he'll do that or not, because he's lost all hope, really. And even apparently, with what Luke did for Anakin, he just didn't just blew it off. It's I guess like luck or something. I don't know. But there's no such thing as luck, according to Obi-Wan, which doesn't explain Jar Jar.
Okay, so
I know all about Jar Jar.
So
me said Darth Jar Jar.
I was gonna bring this up.
Darth Jar Jar?
No.
Okay.
So Freddie Prinze Jr. went on a rant on a podcast.
Oh, here we go. I love his rants.
And he was talking about on Rebels that there was this conversation that Dave Filoni had about what George Lucas said about the Force.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that nothing in Star Wars happens if it's not the will of the Force.
Right.
So when a person dies, it's the Force.
Okay.
And so I thought that was interesting. Now, that's him quoting Dave Filoni, quoting George Lucas.
Yeah.
But I think that's a very interesting take that basically when the way he was talking about prequels was that there was an imbalance because the Jedi were so much in basically being monks. They were the peacekeepers.
Yeah.
They had made themselves completely blind to the dark side, and it created an imbalance.
Yeah,
which
because
created...
they thought the Sith were gone permanently 1,000 years ago or whatever it was.
So that leads into the creation of the Chosen One, which balances the Force. And then basically he was talking about also the sequels about because there's imbalance again that creates not that Rey was a chosen one, but the fact that it creates another hero.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I thought it was interesting.
The little boy with the broom.
So yes, there is no luck in Star Wars.
It's all
the will of the Force.
So the Force. So the Force was just trolling Jar Jar the entire time.
That's why they're called the Guardians of the Will.
Yes.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. Anyways,
Sold with an H.
Lore.
Yes. As the episode proper, I really don't have much else. I'm excited now for the next episode Yes.
Episodes.
Plurals. Yes, but
not 6.
more immediately the next episode. So,
Well, I'm just very happy that you dropped that little nugget of information. It's not 6 episodes.
Yep.
yes.
Because it specifically on IMDb says miniseries, and I'm like,
I actually read today it was 10, and because it was actually a some trade, maybe Variety. I could have swore because I was reading them talk about Hayden Christensen, and they said 10, but of course according to the actual episode list it's 8.
is 8.
yeah.
So
Alright,
that may have been a typo.
Yeah.
Or there's 2 secret episodes, like everyone thought there was going to be for WandaVision.
Yeah.
She can't recast Pietro?
Or it's a really long 8th episode.
Jeez.
That's basically. Oh, that would be
Split into
amazing.
3 more
That one
parts.
should be theatrically released.
Because I
Please
think
bring it here.
the time code on this one on Disney said 56 minutes.
I'll say I can't see that far.
Yeah, I can't tell from this distance.
We talk about episode length a lot,
Yeah.
and we can never see that far.
Yeah. But
Maybe if when we get a new studio, won't have that problem.
projector.
Yeah, we'll have
Or a secondary monitor, so
Or
we can actually have a
something, yeah.
screen that we can like see. I pull it up.
Yeah. Anyways.
Oh, okay.
I don't really have anything else, per se, with the episode. Really excited to see it. All right. This was actually a pretty nice, tight fit. Maybe we should have more than 2 people, us here. but
Works for me.
You're our balancing force.
I am the chosen one.
He actually was keeping us on track too. Like I didn't get off on Doctor Who, Star Trek. I mean, yes, no rambling this time.
Yay!
I don't think. At least it was all Star Wars focused.
Yes. Feels weird now that we're saying. Anyways, all right. Before we actually do get off on something weirdness, so thank you guys for joining us on this reaction. Be sure to like, subscribe, and do all the fun YouTube-y things like hit the bell and say hi in the comments and whatnot. So until next time, bye bye and be blessed, everyone.